From the Broncos to the Chargers, Mahomes has left a trail of awe and frustration in his wake, and we're about to uncover the magic behind his winning streaks, and which teams he absolutely dominated since he entered the league. And remember, these are not black and white. Did you know that Patrick Mahomes has basically been the Broncos' kryptonite? Yep, he's got this insane 11-0 winning streak against them. 11-0, y'all. It's like they just can't catch a break when he's on the field. And check this out, in those 11 games, Mahomes has thrown for a whopping 2,959 yards with 18 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That's some serious quarterback magic right there with their passer rating of 96.6 to prove it. But it's not just about the numbers. Denver played a special role in Mahomes' career. They were the first team he faced twice, and they also played a part in his development. Back in 2018, Mahomes orchestrated his first ever fourth quarter comeback against them. And it's not just the Broncos who he has all scared and shivering. The Las Vegas Raiders are also in a similar situation. Oh, let's talk about the Raiders vs. Chiefs rivalry. It's one for the NFL history books. Those two teams have been duking it out since 1960, sharing the same division and giving fans some unforgettable moments. Talking about unforgettable moments, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button so I can always keep you updated on the most memorable and wildest NFL content. Now, enter Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs' superstar quarterback. He's been a game changer in this rivalry, boasting an impressive 9-1 record against the Raiders in his career. That's right, the Chiefs have been on a roll, and Mahomes is the reason for that. When he faces the Raiders, Mahomes turns into an absolute football maestro. He's got a passer rating of 112.5, throwing for a shocking 3,040 yards, 27 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions in 10 games against them. That's some MVP level stuff right there. But hey, let's not forget that one loss in Week 5 of the 2020 NFL season. It was a crazy upset with the Raiders pulling off a 40-32 victory. Even though Mahomes did his thing with 340 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and just 1 interception, it wasn't enough. Derek Carr, the Raiders quarterback, was on fire that day, and they put an end to the Chiefs' 13-game winning streak. Overall, though, the Chiefs seemed to have the upper hand, and Mahomes is their shining star. But these two aren't the only teams who have faced his wrath. There's also the Los Angeles Chargers. Oh, Patrick Mahomes sure knows how to put a show on against the Chargers. Last I checked, he had a stellar 7-2 record against them in his career. But let me tell you about one of the most unforgettable moments. It was September 2020, and the Chiefs found themselves in a real pickle. They were down by multiple scores in the fourth quarter against the Chargers, but that's when Mahomes, the comeback king, sprang into action. He orchestrated this heart-pounding comeback that had fans on the edge of their seats, and guess what? They didn't just tie the game, they won it in overtime. But the fun didn't stop there. Fast forward to Week 2 of the 2022 NFL season, and Mahomes was at it again, this time on Thursday Night Football. He had this incredible 2-touchdown game against the Chargers, showcasing his magic on the field. It's like he has this special connection with the Chargers that brings out his A-game. So when Mahomes faces the Chargers, you know you're in for some thrilling football action and unforgettable plays. Oh, it's not just the Chargers that Patrick Mahomes has had his way with. The Jacksonville Jaguars have also felt the heat of Mahomes' greatness. Since he burst onto the NFL scene, he's been giving the Jaguars a tough time. He has a stellar 3-0 record against them. Along with a sparkling passer rating of 109.9 with 1,022 yards, 7 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions in 3 games, that's some serious quarterback wizardry right there. Now let's talk about one of those unforgettable moments. It happened in 2023 when Mahomes made a comeback from an ankle injury. Now that's a Hollywood-style comeback story. He and his trusty teammate Travis Kelce were in sync, and Kelce caught not just 1 but 2 touchdown passes. The result, a sweet 27-20 victory for the Kansas City Chiefs, propelling them to the AFC Championship game for the 5th consecutive season. Mahomes and his magic on the field are a nightmare for opposing defenses, and the Jaguars can definitely attest to that. It's moments like these that make football fans go wild. Talking about wild moments, let's talk about the Ravens. They've given it their all to take down Patrick Mahomes, but it's been quite the challenge. Mahomes has a 3-1 record against the Ravens in his career, and he's made quite the mark in those matchups. Check this out. In those 4 games, Mahomes boasts a jaw-dropping passer rating of 119.1. He's thrown for a whopping 1,479 yards with 12 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. That's like watching a quarterback maestro at work. But here's the twist. The Ravens haven't been shy about trying to shut him down. They blitzed Mahomes a mind-blowing 40 times in just 2 games. Their defensive coordinator, Don Wink Martindale, likes to send those extra rushers sprinting towards quarterbacks, and he hasn't eased up even when facing the reigning Super Bowl MVP. In one of their matchups, Mahomes faced a career-high 23 blitzes back in 2018, and in another game last year, Martindale called 17 blitzes, yet Mahomes still managed to work his magic, racking up 751 passing yards and 5 touchdowns in those 2 contests. It's clear that trying to contain Mahomes is like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. He's posted a passer rating above 100 in the majority of his career starts, showing that any plan to slow down this Chiefs star is bound to have its flaws. Mahomes is just in a league of his own. And while he's already made an enemy out of these teams, there's some he's conquering gradually. Take the Steelers, for example. In his career, Pat has maintained a perfect 2-0 record against them, and the numbers he's put up are just staggering. With a passer rating of 141.2, Mahomes has thrown for a total of 584 yards and a shocking 9 touchdowns in just 2 games against the Steelers. Now here's a little history. Mahomes didn't get the chance to play in their first matchup back in 2017 during Week 6. Unfortunately, the Chiefs lost that one 19-13. But when he did get his shot in Week 2 of the 2018 season at Heinz Field, he made the most of it. In that game, Mahomes completed 23 of 28 passes for 326 yards, and hold on to your seats, 6 touchdown passes. That's right, 6 touchdowns in a single game, a feat he's achieved only twice in his career so far. Not to mention he's also threw for 448 yards in that game, making it his highest passing yardage in a single match that year. Mahomes is like a Steelers nightmare, lighting up the scoreboard and making magic happen on the field. When he's in the zone, there's no stopping him. And hey, before the Steelers fans come at me, don't worry, you're in the same boat as the 49ers. It turns out Patrick Mahomes has been quite the thorn in the side of the 49ers as well. In his career, he's maintained a perfect 2-0 record against San Francisco. Mahomes has been practically unstoppable with a passer rating of 123.4, throwing for a hefty 737 yards, 6 touchdowns, and just 1 interception in 2 games against the 49ers. That's some seriously impressive quarterbacking right there. And in his time against the 49ers, there's one game that I can never forget. It was Week 7 of the 2022 NFL season when Mahomes worked his magic against the 49ers. He threw for a cool 423 yards in a big win, and you can bet the entire 49ers squad was left shaking their heads in awe. Mahomes has a way of doing that to his opponents. He's just a true maestro on the field. And that isn't even the end of it. Mahomes has been quite the showstopper against the Browns as well. With the perfect 2-0 record in his career, he's left the Browns and their fans in sheer amazement. One of the most memorable moments happened in 2021 when Mahomes put on an absolute spectacle. The Chiefs needed big plays, and Mahomes, the magician under center, delivered. It was like watching a mesmerizing magic show on the football field, with every play leaving the Cleveland Browns both in awe and frustration. Mahomes has this incredible ability to conjure up game-changing moments when his team needs them most. That's what makes him such a standout quarterback in the NFL. When he's on, he's practically unstoppable, and it's no wonder why the Browns were left shaking their heads at his brilliance. So whether it's in his division or not, East Coast or West, Sunday afternoon or primetime, Mahomes seems to have a knack for coming out on top. Football fans can't help but marvel at his incredible skills and the excitement he brings to every game.
Inside the 10, still not out. Oh, what a run! Out of this world!
And if you liked watching Mahomes dominate his opponents, I'm sure you're going to have a hell of a time watching Aaron Rodgers absolutely annihilate these teams. Check it out here.